All right, so our first segment was about this new game that just fulfilled from Kickstarter, Skyrise. Later on, we're going to be talking about even more Kickstarter games. So we're going to take a moment here, and we're actually going to discuss why we back things on crowdfunding. I guess we should be saying crowdfunding because now there's so many different things. But I'm going to say Kickstarter because it's hard for me to change my language. Once I get something down, I just stick with it, guys.
So Kickstarter is like Kleenex to you.
Or Coke.
It is, exactly.
Or
what?
Coke.
Oh, I thought you said milk. I was like, is there off-brand milk? But yeah, so we're going to just go around. We're going to talk about why we back something, what's worth backing and what's not worth backing. So as the Kickstarter expert in this group, I'm going to start because I have kickstarted a lot more board games than these guys, probably all of them combined if I had to guess. And I would say there are two major reasons for backing a Kickstarter project. One is to support that designer. There are two people recently that fall into this category. Their games are both great and they looked good, but they were also small companies who were trying to really do something unique, and that is New Kingdom Gardeners and Deliverance. Both of these are Christian themed games who are really actually have fulfilling hobby game mechanisms in there and are worth having in anybody's collection. And that was definitely worth backing on Kickstarter, despite how it looks or whatever, which in this case, they both looked great. And Deliverance is a miniatures game and it was just marvelous. But if it's not that, and you're just like, you know what, I'm just using this as a pre-order, this is the real reason we back things on Kickstarter, or I do, is because it catches my eye. Like, I want that game to be so beautiful that I have to stop and go, I have to look at this. If it's on Kickstarter and your game isn't a niche game or just beyond beautiful, then why in the world is it on Kickstarter? And the example I have for this is a game I just recently backed called Etherstone. Beautiful art. Cards are just absolutely marvelous. The other reason you would do this is how much is the all-in? And I will say one reason I would not back a game is because they are not forthcoming what their all-in is. CMON does it, and also Sentinels in the Multiverse, they both had done that before, where they were like, here's our product, and then every week they add more and more and more, and then all of a sudden you were like, I was in for $200, but now you're up to $500. I'm out. I can't handle this. Stop doing the creep up. And I know my time is up, but I got one more I have to say, and that is, will all the stretch goals fit in one box? Radlands, it was a wonderful two-player game with two mats, neoprene mats, and they all fit in a box like this big. That's a no-brainer. Have to back that. So thank you for letting me go past my time. I appreciate it. And
well, I didn't let you, but I don't have control, so.
Yeah, that's right, because I have the mute ability, baby. We haven't passed that on to Randy yet.
By the way, it's called Come On now. Come On.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I always get that wrong. All right, John. Why do you back things on Kickstarter? Or what's Kickstarter for you?
Well, it's crowdfunding, actually.
I've heard it both ways.
You kind of hit the one that one of the big things I was wanting to talk about was, and I haven't done many like this, like you were talking about. There's like you're saying, there's two different reasons you would crowdfund. One is because that's the only way you're going to get it. Unless you support this project, it's not going to happen. And the other is just, a glorified pre-order. I've done, to be honest, the only ones I've been satisfied with are the glorified pre-orders. Some of the ones you mentioned, though, I did not back. Maybe I would have been happy with them. I probably would have been, because some of them I'm familiar with. But the idea of it's such a leap of faith to just throw something out there because, this looks good online. The weight looks good. The components look good. I can't touch any of the components. I don't know what the quality is going to be like. So, here, take my money and I hope I get a game. That is I shy away from that. I have two outstanding, they are Kickstarters right now, and those are both pretty much just pre-orders. Although one of them's Daniel already has the game. But, but we won't go into that. But you have to kind of set yourself up for some sort of disappointment, no matter what you fund, though. So there's that too. You can't just go into it thinking it's all going to be roses, and this is they said this is going to be, coming out in September. It's going to be in my hands in September. No, it's probably not going to be in your hands in September. If you're lucky, it's November. So really, I'm not a good one to talk you into backing anything here, but just that's usually what I do. I'm looking for to back or not to back. For me, it's usually that's the really cool pre-orders where it's got stuff that I'm not going to be able to get at retail. So,
is that what happened here? That Daniel got his at Gen Con before you got yours?
yeah, we don't want to talk about it though.
These are sore subjects. John, what's your Kickstarter out right now that you still have out?
Well, one of them is the Canvas Big Box.
Okay.
It's probably pretty much a pre-order that you'll be able to get at your local game store, but it does come with like extra art cards and stuff like that you would, and it's going to make the game. I'm usually not one. Okay, I'm going to take a side thing. I never understand people with storage problems. Like oh well, I hate taking these 3 boxes to go play this game. Big deal. It looks good in the 3 boxes. Looks good on your shelf. What are you gonna do with 3 empty boxes if you get rid of it? So I've never had a problem with that. But with Canvas, there's so much different stuff, and fitting it into the 3 boxes again is almost impossible. And so it makes sense to get a big box for that. So I feel justified with this one.
And John,
thank you for sharing.
You
John,
went way over your time. I think you should get a point taken away.
I should get a point.
Go ahead.
All right, Chris. Why do you back things on Kickstarter? Everybody wants to know this.
Yes.
You are the enigma.
All right, to you, Andy.
That's not true.
I was going to say,
not true,
Chris,
sir.
have you ever backed anything, Chris?
No, yeah, 100%. Okay, so here's the truth, people. I think I've made it very clear. I'm a frugal person. I am not a person that just throws money at my hobbies randomly.
Like an unnecessary upgrade for Skyrise.
I'm very calculated with my money. So, I was so calculated I didn't back Skyrise. I played somebody else's. That's free. Anyways, man, I have problems with fixing my time normally, but I could talk about 30 minutes about how I feel about Kickstarter. So, I'll be as quick as I can. I love the idea of crowdsourcing. I love the idea of what it was for when it started. It started for like music artists that wanted to record an album, and no one really knew who they were, and so they would go on there and be like, "Hey, if I can get like $400, we can record an album at a studio, and we'll send you a copy." And people are like, "Yeah, cool. I heard a little blip that you recorded and put up on the site. I'd love to see what a full album is. Here's some money," right? Up and coming artists in board games, people, new designers, cool. I love the idea of your new game. That's cool. No one's doing something like that. I'm throwing some money at you so you can create your goal, your dream of creating a game. All for it. What I'm not for is the big board game using your money for R&D opposed to their own money like you're supposed to do. So that, like, as a principle thing, I hate it. And then also because, again, I care about my money. I don't back a Kickstarter, or I didn't for a long time, unless it was a sweet deal. So, like, I backed a couple of miniature things back in the day from Blacklist Miniatures, I think is what it's called. If you know him and you've been part of it, brother, I'm here for you. We've been through a journey, because both of them a massive scam, just a massive scam. And it was like $85 for like 150 miniatures, and you're like, well, you should have known better. Well, that's just a good deal. So I did it because it's a good deal. I'm not going to do what's normal MSRP. Here, take my MSRP money and I'll wait 3 years to get it. No, that's stupid. I ain't going to do that. So I've been burned by a few different ones. Early in crowdfunding, I backed a miniatures game that wasn't Warhammer. My own mistake, because no one plays anything but Warhammer and miniatures, so that's my fault. I also backed a Magic the Gathering clone game that was only online. This was before Magic the Gathering Arena. It was super cool. I loved the idea. It had a bunch of money. The guy built it. He released the first set, and then he was like, yeah, I don't have any money anymore. I'm sorry. And the game was just over. And so, over and over. And so, like, I did it when people needed them, when they were trying to fulfill their dream, and it always failed. Right?
See,
and so I don't have any interest in doing the pre-order like you guys. I'll just wait till it's on the shelf and buy it at retail. Or better yet, I love you all that love this Kickstarter. I think it's great. Y'all are terrible with your money. You spend $500, and then 6 months later, I can buy it from you for $300, and I love it. So
it sounds like your real big. It sounds like your big problem, Chris.
I appreciate it.
Chris, it seems like your biggest problem is not a lack of. It's not a problem with Kickstarter. It's a lack of vetting on your part.
No, it's not. I mean,
yes, it is, because you're like, oh, well, this some random guy. You got to make sure they're a legitimate person before you send them your money.
But I hear you. But again, it gets the principle. The reason for crowdfunding, in my opinion, is for people that are needing the money to fulfill their dream, not to put out the newest game by CMON.
Come on, man.
I suppose, but that's also an oxymoron of what you said, because you said you don't want it to be R&D, and it sounds like you're handing people money because they want to R&D their dream, unless you're saying the dream should be already fully done.
Well, sure, but even the big board game companies that you give crowdfunding to, the game's not ready. It's not like at the end of this Kickstarter, I tell the production company, go, and you will have it in 9 months from then, because I've done all the details, all the work to know about shipping, production, everything's in a row. All the work's been done. I just have to hit go when this is over. But that's not how it is. And it makes me...
Except for Queen Games does that, because they are truly a pre-order system.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. Like, it's so... It's very frustrating to me, because it's, again, a principle alone, it's not what it was meant to be anymore. And that's
sure.
Just frustrating.
Yeah, but it's not, but it can be still. But unfortunately, the big companies have taken advantage of us wanting to part with our money. But a lot of them still give you a bonus or at least a discount of some sort, like CMON.
Come on, man.
They're a really good bargain. You're going to get so many stretch goals that it's like, that was worth it.
Yeah, so those are bananas what they give you comparatively to like what you pay. It's true. Like you can pay $120 for the MSRP box when it comes out, 3 years from now, or you can back it now and you'll get that plus 7 other boxes for the same price. So like I get it with CMON. It's just kind of ridiculous. But
come on.
Come on, Andy. What's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, for those of you, we were talking about crowdfunding. Well, we are starting a GoFundMe to come up with some money for Chris's blood pressure medicine, because clearly he's going to need some more of it after that. No,
well done, Andy. Well done.
You guys have covered a lot of different points here, and so I want to just want to hit up on a couple that you've clearly missed. And the biggest reason to back anything on crowdfunding is because of the quality. Hear me out. The quality of the voiceover trailer that promotes it. And the problem is too many people aren't hiring me to do their Kickstarter trailers. If they would, why, my goodness, we'd be back in everything, wouldn't we, gentlemen? So this is a simple opportunity for me to shill my services out there and plug that. But no, in all honesty, what it's come down to for me is I've been burned too. I've been burned. I kind of got burned by the He-Man game. That's my fault, because I am a sucker for the theme, and I should have known better that it wasn't my type of game. So it's really my fault. It's actually a great game if you're into that kind of game. But what has worked for me, and what will continue to be my modus operandi for Kickstarters, is going to be getting deluxe versions of games I love. And so the one I mentioned on this the previous show, the one I'm most excited about that's coming up is the Puerto Rico Deluxe Edition that's coming up. I love the Castles of Burgundy one that I got this last year. And the other thing is sometimes it is bringing back games that are out of print and really hard to find, like Palaces of Carrera is a good example. That was a game that was made primarily in Germany and really hard to come by, but somebody finally put it on Kickstarter, and it's just a fantastic game. So that's my thoughts on it. I don't get into the whole speculative thing. I try not to just waste my money anymore, and it's too easy to do so. In fact, I don't even browse. I don't go to those websites. That sounded different than it should be. But yeah, don't worry. I've got a blacklist. I've got Kickstarter's blacklisted for me. I can't see it.
Actually, it is at work, which is funny because Kicks now that what's it called now? Crowdfunding? No, what's the other one?
GoFundMe?
No, what's the other?
Indiegogo?
No, what's the other big one that's going on right now?
GameFound?
Yes,
GameFound. Thank you. Now that GameFound is taking a lot of the board game from Kickstarter, I can get on Kickstarter at work. I cannot get on GameFound. So my Kickstarter backing has went down significantly because there's not as many good games on Kickstarter. Also, I know what I was going to comment on John's, and that was when you were going to get the game. Guys, here's just... whatever they say, this is when you're going to get the game, you are not going to get the game. If you're like, oh, this should have shipped 3 months ago, what's going on? You're the idiot for thinking it was going to come in on time. It does not come in on time. It doesn't matter what they say. It's like saying that.
So wait a minute. You're suggesting you're suggesting the people who believe the people who made the promise are the idiots, not the people who make the promises and don't keep them.
Yes, exactly. Because if you look at a board game and it says 45 to 60 minutes and you believe that, you also believe that same company is going to get you that game in 3 months.
By
And
that logic,
it isn't.
by that logic, politicians are not idiots. The voters are the idiots.
Come on, man.
Correct.
Exactly.
And they are, because they care about politics and I don't. But
All right.
But and especially that man in blue really does. Anyways, yeah, I mean, but what you're saying is you support them openly lying to you about a delivery date because they know if they're truthful, people won't back as much. Like if they tell you it's supposed to come out at Christmas, guys, it's going to be like Gen Con next year.
Yeah.
Then they know people are going to be like, no, I'm not going to give you money for a year and a half from now. Go away.
That's
they
where we're
lie.
running a
So
little
you
long on the
support them
segment.
openly lying to us.
There's an easy answer for this, and that is just to put date of delivery TBD.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. I would actually be
All right.
halfway okay with that. But this again, Daniel's saying he's okay with them openly lying to us.
Okay, to end this segment, I'm going to have the last say to respond to what you said. I don't believe they are openly lying. They are hopeful that this is there when they're going to arrive. And I do trust that they believe that. But there are so many things that happen that a lot of the companies can't hold to this time frame. Some of them do, though. I was speaking broadly, but some of them do actually reach their
Everything
goals.
I've seen always just says estimated arrival.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
It's true. It's true.
Okay. Well, regardless, what do you guys think about Kickstarter or crowdfunding? Why do you back games, and why? How many have you backed? I'm just kind of curious. Are you one of these people who have said no to crowdfunding? Do you love crowdfunding? And what are your rationales? But let us know in the comments below.
Thank you for watching this clip from Around the Board. If you'd like to watch the full episode, please click on the link down below. Around the Board is essentially a game show featuring 4 board game enthusiasts that discuss board game topics and news in a competitive format. Whoever wins gets to talk about whatever he wants at the end of the show. So please join us, won't you, around the board.